Yeah, I wasn't at school, and I just went to a party with Jacqui, and Chris was there, and his mate Beachy. Remember Beachy? And yeah, I was just sitting there, and your dad started throwing peanuts at me. And I'm like, who's this dude? Like, who's these guys throwing peanuts at me? And then I think smooth, yeah. And then I said to Jacqui, look, I'm going to go, because we had her car, and so she decided to stay. And as I was walking down to the car, your dad and Beachy came down and said, you just live around the corner from us, can we get a lift home with you? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So, they could have been, I never met them before, they could have been serial killers for all I knew. And that's basically how I met your dad.
Welcome to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul. Raw conversations on transformation, truth, and finding light in the darkest places. You may not hear what you want, but you will definitely hear what you need. Alrighty, beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul. Today, we have one of the most beautiful people that I have, that I'm truly blessed to have in my life. The woman that actually gave me life, my mother, Cindy Vogt. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm going good.
That's good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling excited.
Yeah?
Yes.
Are you a little bit nervous?
A little bit nervous,
yeah.
Yes.
I honestly feel a little bit nervous every time I do this as well.
Yeah.
And I'm never really ready.
Yeah.
For the conversation. But where do I want to start with this? I guess what's happening in your life presently, and then I think we'll have a little bit of a conversation about your life growing up, where you've come from.
Yep.
Maybe have a little chat about some of the challenges you've been through. Anxiety that you've had to deal with for a majority of your life.
Yes.
And we'll go into a couple of things after that.
Okay.
But we'll keep that one a surprise.
Okay. I'm not sure if I like surprises.
You don't?
Yeah.
Only presents.
Yep.
Give us a little bit of a rundown about Cindy. Where have you come from growing up? How were you raised? Your parents? Where you've come from? All that sort of thing?
Well, my parents are English, so they were born in England, and they came out to Australia in the 1960s on the 10-pound pom boat. And the reason why it's called the 10-pound poms is because the English government offered it to the English people. It's only going to cost you £10 to get to Australia and start a new life.
Just bring that microphone a bit closer to you if you can.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
So they took the opportunity and said to their parents, look, we're going to go, we have to go for 3 years. We're going to see what it's like. So they got married and come out to Australia and decided to settle in Adelaide.
How old were you at this point?
I wasn't born.
Oh, you weren't born?
No, I wasn't born.
Okay.
So my mum and dad had my brother, Adam, who is 69 this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I didn't know
Sorry,
that.
59.
54.
Sorry, Adam. I'll take that one back. 59.
I was going to say, holy fuck, he's doing all right.
Yeah, 59. So they had my brother and then they had me. I was born in 1967. And then when I was 3 months old, they'd been here for 3 years and decided to go back to England to see their parents. And obviously on the boat back home, they did a little bit of hanky-panky and fell pregnant with my sister, Jacqui, who was actually born over in England.
Yep.
So I was 3 months old and had my sister. She was actually born in the same house, in the same room as my dad at my nan's house. And then they decided to, when I was 3, decided that they didn't like the cold weather. It was too dreary, too depressing. So they decided to come back out.
So do you reckon they experienced life outside of that depressing weather?
Yeah.
And seen how much it...
Come to Australia, sunny, warm. We do have clouds, but they're not like snowy, sleet. 0 degrees kind of thing.
Well, the sun's the giver of all life, isn't it? Like, it really does have a like such a big effect
Yep.
on like every sort of health pillar, your mental health, physical, spiritual,
Everything. Vitamin
everything.
D.
Yeah,
Yep.
vitamin D. It's
Everything.
so good for you. And your body lets you know when you've had enough
Yep.
too. Like
Yep.
you know when you've had a good dose of it.
Yeah.
You know, your skin gets burnt. You can just feel it. Your body is so smart.
Yeah,
And,
and you just feel like you've had a good day when you had that little bit of sun. Then I feel a little bit good today, even though a little bit burnt. Tomorrow I'll feel fine. So anyway, they just ended up coming back to Australia, and they had my younger sister Donna, and she was actually a twin, but her twin died at birth, was stillborn. So, we only learnt that later as we grew up, that my sister had a twin.
Yep.
So basically, we settled in Adelaide until I was 13 and moved up to Brisbane.
Yeah, nice.
So I've lived in, different places. I think they settled in Sydney at one stage, but I just can't remember where that fits into everything. Whether it was they went to Sydney first and then moved to Adelaide, I'm not quite sure.
That would have been a curveball with Donna's twin.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that was obvious? Well, Poppy's been through a lot. They both have been through a lot. That wouldn't have been the first curveball, but it would have been one of the larger ones, right?
Definitely.
And for Donna as well.
Yeah.
Once she come to the understanding of what's happened.
Before you kind of know about death and everything, you have a little bit of a joke and you go, "Oh my God, imagine two of you."
I know.
You kind of say that and you're like, not knowing that would actually hurt my mum's feelings. It was just. We just used to go, "Oh my God, imagine two of you." Yeah.
Well, it's the thing. People, they don't know what's happened, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you don't really know a lot about it. So that's their story. So I've been around the world a couple of times in a cruise ship, and I could have been a Pommy, could have been down in Adelaide, but ended up in Brisbane and now on the Gold Coast.
That's cool.
So I think it's a pretty good, start to my life of
And how was your relationship with your parents and all that sort of thing? Like how were you raised in the family home? It's always interesting to know.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to do like whatever we wanted. We used to ride the bikes all day, not come home until like the sun was coming, going down. We used to sit at the creek and eat. I remember just, this almond tree and just eating almonds all day and just picking up sour sobs and sucking on those as well. Just heaps of fun and taking my pram down. We used to go out the home all the time. And, we grew up in competitive swimming as well.
That's right. You and Jacqui was an unreal swimmer, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. We all did swimming, but she's the one that took it the furthest in her later years.
Yeah.
We were every weekend we'd go to, Mildura, Bordertown, Orange. It was a carnival. State titles, and our life just revolved around swimming. Up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Water rats.
Water rats.
Well,
Mum and Dad took us to the soz.
Oh yeah.
Sozzy. The Murray River, and we all kind of slipped on some moss, slippery moss, and we all four of us went in there and so they went, right, these kids have got to learn how to swim.
Yeah, right.
So basically we nearly drowned for them to...
dead set.
Yeah.
That was
That was it.
Yeah.
We got to take them swimming, and it just kind of went from there, and we were, pretty good at it, I would say. Yeah. I was really good at breaststroke until Jacqui started beating me and I went, give it away.
Try something else.
I'm done. Yeah, so that was, I had a great childhood. Mum and Dad loved us a lot, did everything for us. My dad was like a community man, which I read in his memoirs.
He's a good man.
He's a good man. Yeah, I didn't know a lot about what he used to do when we were kids until I read that. That's why I'd really like you to read that as well.
I definitely will.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's about that thick.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Little bits at a time.
Yeah.
I've nearly finished that other book, so maybe we can swap.
Yeah, sounds good.
That map book that I've been reading by David Dion Fisher, that's a nugget, that one. Yep. That's one that you should read and Dad should read, so you're on the same page, because it's really got some good golden nuggets in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds good. So, yeah, that's basically my life. And
What about school?
school? Yeah, I probably wasn't a genius.
That's okay. You know,
Yeah,
I believe
CB.
the kids that don't do well in school are, you know, the ones that can see through the bullshit.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
I think I've said this in the podcast before. Schools have the same test for
Yeah,
everyone,
for
but
everybody.
everyone's different.
absolutely.
You've seen that
Yeah.
illustration of
Yeah.
all the different animals. You've got a goldfish, you've got a monkey, you've got an elephant, you've got
Yeah.
a tiger.
Yeah,
And then there's the teacher up there saying, all right, everyone climb that tree.
that's it.
Obviously, the fucking monkey's going to nail it. The goldfish has got no
No
chance.
chance. It all got...
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, the elephant will knock it down.
it's
So,
got-
yeah, everybody's got their different capabilities of not
that's
being
right.
able to climb that tree.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like it doesn't identify, school does not identify the unique gifts that everyone carries within themselves to find them, you know, seek them, find them, and then be able to release them out to the world,
Yeah.
their gifts to the world, which is a part of their authentic self, which is really disappointing,
Yeah,
you know. But once you see it and deeply realise it and understand it, you can't unsee it, you can't
That's it.
unhear it.
yeah. I wish, you know, knowing this more, like when you guys were young kind of thing, like, you know, pick what you want to do. Well, we kind of did in a way, like when you left school. Brookie stayed, but Tara was like going into grade 10 and she's like, I'm not loving it. And I said, well, what do you want to do? She said, I want to do this. So we took her out. She did the beauty therapy course and now she's an awesome beautician. Yeah. So, you know, and yeah, Brookie did a photography course and that, and, you know.
Yep.
So, yeah, we just wanted you to all, you know, just live your life. I think I've always said it doesn't worry me what you do as long as you're enjoying your life and you're doing, you know. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't care if like you had a part-time job and surfed every day.
Oh,
as long as you
absolutely.
could support yourself and
All you want is what's
happy.
what's that thing that you and Dad say? You're only as happy.
You're only as happy as your unhappiest child. Yeah.
It's true,
So it's
and like
so true.
it doesn't matter how much you earn, and if you show up in, you know, the family environment happy, and, you know, I'm happy now. I've got less material. Oh well, got a home and that, but, you know, at one point I had a lot of silly little fucking toys
Had
and
toys.
shit,
Yeah.
unnecessary things that didn't serve me. They only caused
Yep.
more dramas
Yeah.
and
That's it.
all that sort of stuff. I just borrow your stuff. Borrow the motorhome, borrow the boat,
Yeah.
borrow the 4B.
Yeah. That's all right. It'll all be yours one day.
Yeah. I don't ever think about that.
No, I
I don't
know.
never think like, I can't wait for mum and dad
But
to
these
go.
are things that we've just recently purchased. They're all like,
A lot of work and effort, eh?
well, yeah, but it's something that it's like an investment as well. So you buy the motorhome and then you use it for a while and then you can actually sell it. You know, and, you know, you just kind of get your money back on it. Yeah.
And Dad, how'd you meet Dad? That was Dad in school?
I
Dad
didn't-
was in school.
He did go to the same school, but I wasn't at school with him. My younger sister Jacqui was. But I actually met him at a party I went with Jacqui. So I was out working. So I left school when I was 15. So, yeah, and then I just got jobs at Kmart, Coles, RECQ, which was a good one. I worked there for a while. So, yeah, I wasn't at school and I just went to a party with Jacqui. And Chris was there and his mate Beachy. Remember Beachy? And, yeah, I was just sitting there and your dad started throwing peanuts at me. And I'm like, who's this dude? Like, who's these guys throwing peanuts at me? And then I think Smooth, yeah. And then I said to Jacqui, look, you know, I'm going to go because we had her car. And she decided to stay. And as I was walking down to the car, your dad and Beachy came down and said, you just live around the corner from us. Can, you know, we get a lift home with you? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, they could have been, I never met them before, they could have been serial killers for all I knew. And that's basically how I met your dad.
Yeah.
And we just, yeah.
Been together ever since?
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit on and off at the start.
Yeah, we were together for a while and then we broke up. maybe for about 10 months, and then, got back together, and then you came along.
I did?
You did, yeah. So we were, well, your dad was only 19 and I was 20, so when we had you.
Yeah, that's young.
Yeah, it is young. It was a big thing. So, it was a big thing, but I just kind of went with it. I didn't really think too much about it. I don't think you're
ever really ready for anything.
No, I was definitely not ready, but it just fell into place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But because I really do believe that you're never truly ready for anything, even if you plan.
If you're prepared for it, yeah. I don't think you ever. No.
Even just with this, I'm never really ready for this. You know, like I've just come back from an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
Went to see my therapist. She's she's good. She's the greatest teacher.
Yep.
I trust a plant over. Over a psychologist that's learnt from the Society of Systems only.
Reading books.
Psychologist and therapist that has just read from the system teachings and hasn't delved into the realms of, spiritual side, like all sorts of sides. But, I believe I really truly do believe that these plants have stepped up and presented themselves to teach us what we're not being told. Like there's a higher intelligence there, and like we are ripping the guts out of Mother Earth every single day. We are treating her like shit. So, I think like the plants have stepped in.
Yep.
Like enough's enough.
Yeah.
Teaching us like that. But I'm never really ready. Like especially the Savi comes straight home from that, and you've come over.
Here I am.
Yeah, and it all just falls into place. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've had a quiet day because as you know, your father had a heart attack last Saturday, which was a shock. It was lucky it wasn't a big one. It was a minor one, but fair to say that it's really knocked him around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's super tired, no energy, can't eat. Like, I'm like, do you want to have this? Do you want to have that? And he's like, no.
He's dropped a bit of weight, eh?
He's dropped a lot, like in a week. Yeah, so I'm trying to keep up with fluids. And he was having arrowroot with butter when I left. Yep. The old arrowroot with butter, what you have when you're a kid.
Not a bad mix, those ones.
Yeah.
Dunking in a bit of tea, even with the butter on it, I reckon.
Yeah. So he's, he was having that and trying to say, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a struggle this week to see him like that. It'd
fuck with your head. That, like, knowing that your heart has attacked.
Attacked your body.
Like, the heart is super intelligent. It's, it has its own brain. It holds and stores all of the traumatic experiences, the unresolved conflicts that we haven't resolved. It stays there, and it really can play a part in all the disease at the end of the day, because disease is from you not being at ease. And obviously through the experience of me and everything that I've been through with the drug addiction. The drug addiction's a family addiction. It is not just me. It affects everyone. So I know that that has definitely affected you. It's definitely affected Dad and Brooke and Tara, and it ripples out to everyone. But you guys are the immediate family. You've had the immediate tidal wave, I guess. The first sort of, the one that hits the hardest. So that's something that I have had to face through multiple, moments of life, especially in the ayahuasca ceremonies, holding myself responsible, especially for this last one as well. Like I was telling Kels, even though I have faced it and released it, Dad hadn't had this happen to him, so it's like, fuck, there's been a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of disease, unease in his life, which is, and his generation, your generation, there was no tools, there was no social media, there was no information that could get spread out on a mass scale to help people in this way. And like old gurus and teachers, like they're showing up with their wisdom on social media, which is the fucking powerful shit.
Definitely.
And that's getting spread across
and
the world.
just a lot of it just makes a lot of sense. You're like, oh gosh. Like, I kind of knew that, but then you think, oh, I wouldn't say it because, like, you'd be an outcast.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
why do you think that?
People like Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, and all these wise men that knew what the hell that they were talking about, they used to get ridiculed back in the day, and now, you know, they're plastered all over social media. What they said, you know, 20 years ago or longer ago, way longer ago with other gurus and teachers, it's coming to its truth.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
There's heaps of stuff that, you know, I've learnt, and from you as well. Like, that's how I kind of deal with it. I think I said to you the other day, I dealt with, you know, overcoming your situation and like watching you get better. For me was like healing for me. Watching you heal was healing for me. Yeah. And so, and then, you know, because I meditate as well, I walk on the beach barefoot. Like, I like to be grounded. I do all, you know, listen to the meditation music. I listen to manifesting when I go to sleep. Just stuff like that, you know, like that has released it from me. Whereas I think your dad, and going back to that generation of them not talking to anybody about, like, oh, I feel depressed. Well, I'm not going to say anything because, you know, they'll think I'm a pussy. But like with women, it's kind of different because, you know, we do reach out to each other. But for men, definitely it's a thing. It's getting better now.
Do you think it's that I've got to be the warrior, I've got to be tough type attitude?
Definitely.
I don't want, like you said, I don't want to look like a pussy. I don't want to be soft. But the truth is, you know, they don't want to talk because they don't want to look soft, but to help themselves and to heal. If they heal themselves, they heal the world. And if you want to be tough, you've got to be soft. You've got to be soft and you've got to express yourself and share what you're feeling, regardless of what the fuck anyone thinks. You know, because to be a warrior is to be just sharing and expressing like that. Like, I've used this analogy before. You know, water is soft. And water is soft, but water can also put out the most intense and raging fires and smoothen the hardened edges of a rock. Like, you know, just from being that gentle, soft, that consistent softness over time, like with a rock, it just really smooths it out. That's how those smooth pebbles are created in creeks. You know, the water constantly running over them. Just, you know, they may have had the pointiest, sharpest, rough edges, and now they're
super circle. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We talked about once about like how shells are made. Like, how does the ocean go, whoosh, there you go.
That's like the frequency and vibration of the universe making them. You see like those spiral shells. I've got one in the car. The golden spiral, or the Fibonacci spiral, I think it's called. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I think we need to have a crack at Dad and try and, you know, open him up and see if there's any things in there that we can release.
I think that should go for everyone too.
Everybody,
Like to lead by example. Like I'd try. Like I said before, if you want to heal the world, you can't find it externally to heal the world. You find it internally. You heal you first, and that leads to healing the world. Because, you know, if you're healing yourself and then you're changing your vibration and frequency, and, you know, you're shifting your mindset and your thoughts, and people see that in you, they either are going to follow because they want to be that nice, high, vibrant frequency, or they can choose to stay in that low frequency. That choice is on them.
And that's why everybody is on like a different frequency. Like, you attract the people whatever frequency you're on. If you're in a shitty mood, you have an argument with somebody that's on that low vibration.
Yeah, that's right. But
if you're up high and, hey, how you going? And people go, hey, how you going back? So you're on their level as well. Or you might even actually get them from being shitty to a different frequency as well. Just with one hello while you're walking. You never know when that smile's going to make you feel better. Yeah.
And it's contagious. Negativity is contagious.
Yeah.
But positivity is just as contagious, but it's just so much more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're accountable. We're accountable for that. Like no one. A lot of this is something that I come to terms with is, especially with the pipe, with the meth that I was on. I went through a phase, and I know that I expressed this to you as well. The individual, I won't name who it is, that gave me the first try of it. I used to blame that individual and be like, if it wasn't for that individual, I wouldn't be an addict right now. I wouldn't be at this point. But I grabbed it. I put it in my mouth. I drew it back. I lit it up.
Yeah.
It's on me. It's not on anyone else. Like it's on the individual.
Yeah.
Like to take that radical accountability on myself and for everything that happens to me in life prevents me from falling into that victim mindset. The victim mindset is it's a place where you can, I think the victim mindset is a place that you should go and visit to experience, and I think you should punish yourself, and I spent a lot of time punishing myself.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you want to punish yourself.
Only temporarily, I mean. I think you want to, because you got to experience the victim mindset to experience the opposite of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like experiencing unhappiness, so you can know what the experience of happiness is. Those two, the light and the dark, the two opposites. You need the two. The two of them, dark and light, must coexist. Otherwise, we'd have nothing to compare life to. Like I struggle thinking in my mind how it would be if there was no light and dark. It would just be like, would we just be like, no emotion? Like nothing would be nothing.
High. It wouldn't even be high. It'd be
like someone dies and it'd just be like, I don't know. I don't know what it would look like.
It would be boring though.
But
definitely true.
What did I want to go on to the next thing? I wanted to, I guess, talking about Beachy before. I want to talk about Beachy and Jacqui. So Beachy was one of your mates, was one of Dad's mates. After, you and Dad got together after that party, and you obviously spent a fair bit of time together. What happened there? Is that something that you can share?
Was more a mate of your dad's. They kind of went to school together, and there was a group of them that hang out and everything. And I always thought he was a little bit crazy, like bipolar maybe, but I shouldn't really say that. But I think he was just angry sometimes, but he was a lovely guy. Like he was nice. He would have only been. Oh, how old were you? You were a couple of years old then. Must have been about 3. And, he always used to say, I'm going to kill myself, And then one day he said it and he actually did it. So
why do you think he was in such a dark place?
I don't know. Just teenage life.
Hard. It's a hard world.
I actually do not know why he did it. That was probably the first time, like ever, being close to somebody that had done it. And I more so felt sad for Chris and his friends more than myself, because he was their friends.
Was it a constant thing, him saying he wanted to unalive himself to check out and that? It was a constant thing. He always kind of got himself into trouble and causing fights and all that kind of stuff. Was there any drugs involved?
I don't think so. No, there's really no drugs. Might have been a little bit of pot, but there was never any drugs.
I don't think pot would drive you to that place.
No.
Depends. Everyone takes things differently, you know what I mean? Like there's, pot obviously comes from the earth. It hasn't got like an effect on me where it causes me pain. It's actually quite blissful, but again, you do one thing too much, it's gonna teach you that it's too much eventually.
Then you can become dependent on it.
But just like food comes from the ground too. Some people can eat that specific type of food, whereas the next person, it'll give them some type of a reaction where they, their throat closes up or something happens, like it can nearly kill them. So trial and error. Like what works for, what's okay for me might not be okay for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was just always in a dark place, I think. But again, back then, it was not like, someone should have gone up to him and say, hey, are you okay? Like, is what's bothering you kind of thing, but it just wasn't spoken of. Yeah. There was no are you okay day.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't, was there?
No.
There's nothing.
No.
There's no real support.
No. Yeah, so he's been gone like 30-odd years. 32 years now.
Fucking long time, eh?
It is. So you're 35, so yeah, you must have been 3, turning 4 when it happened.
really do not remember much from my childhood, bits and pieces. Like I remember, and I don't even know if this happened, you'll have to jog me memory when, like if we go into your sister, Jacqui.
Yep.
Well, you explain first, and then I'll let you know.
About Jacqui?
Yeah.
So she was 25, I was 26, we're 13 months apart, so we spent a lot of time together. I worked at the footy club then, and I had you, and Brooke was like 10 months old when she passed, but we used to spend, nearly every weekend together. And because I suffered from anxiety, every time I got that feeling, I would call her and she would come over with, back then, it was like a VHS player, like, the big cassettes of VHS, and we had the VHS.
They were still around when I was younger.
Yeah, they were.
Blockbuster and shit.
Yeah. They were great.
You had to rewind them and shit.
Yeah,
to take
I know. Yeah. She used to come over and sit with me while your dad was like either playing footy or because I didn't really go out much except for work. So we spent a lot of time together. And this one particular Saturday night, we were watching, I think it was either Ab Fab or Ace Ventura, and I was plucking her eyebrows, and she just had her hair cut short. And she'd actually just got a couple of tattoos on her back of some unicorns. And she was always like, do you like them? Do you like them? I said, yeah, I like them. Yeah, they're cool, And she, I think she'd had like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 by then. And I'll just throw this bit in as well. She had a bat on her ankle. And I said, why did you get a bat? Like, do we like bats kind of thing? And she said, well, I was just walking past a tattoo shop and I saw it in the window. And
like a bat like this?
Yeah, like
I never knew that.
Didn't you?
No.
Yeah, she had it on her ankle. And, I said, why did you get a bat? And she said, I was walking past a tattoo shop and she saw the bat there and went, I want to take you home. So she got it tattooed on her and took it home.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So
she was a big part of my life. There's memories there that I have. Like I said, I don't remember too much, but I remember the rollerblades that she would allow me to ride that were like 15 sizes way too big, but I still managed to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And she would let me pile all the cushions up from the couch and let me jump off the couch onto all the mattresses on the floor. That's one thing I remember. And
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, well, you were only like 4 or 5.
That's a young age to remember shit.
Yeah.
But I remember that.
Yeah, she's a good woman.
She was.
Yeah.
So what happened now with how did passing unfold? Because it was definitely a hard.
Yeah, it's a tough.
For that
I'm not touching that. It's a tough cookie to crack because she was always fun. Like I remember because it was coming up to Christmas, it was near the end of November, and she's like, I don't know whether to go away with my friends or do I stay here and pretend to be Santa for you and that. And I said, it's totally up to you. Like, obviously we want you to stay and that. I said, but if you want to go off and, go on an adventure, do it. No worries, go do that. And, that night we spent, we had probably a couple of wines, didn't really drink a lot back then, and watched a movie. Then we went to bed and I had to start work at 3 o'clock the next day. And we were talking about this guy that she was with. He was a little bit creepy, like a little bit obsessive.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, like he's really weird. And I said, get rid of him, just leave him. You got no commitment there. And she goes, yeah, I'll do that. And so she went her way in the morning, and I had you guys and was getting ready for work, and she rang me just before I was going to work and said, I broke up with him. And I said, oh, good. She goes, yeah, he took it really better than what I expected. And I said, oh, that's great. I said, sorry, I had to go to work. So I just didn't have really much time to talk to her. And then, like something happened that night, and she was found the next morning by the girl that she lived with. Her friend had come home after being at her boyfriend's place and found her hanging. And, of course, they put it down to suicide, of course.
Where did they find her?
She was, like, her bedroom was there, and then the hallway was there, so it was kind of just there. Yeah. So we were, like, devastated, as you can imagine. Mum and Dad were devastated. But we just didn't want to believe that she had done it to herself, because she's never really depressed. She was always happy, and she did love to have a drink. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sweating here.
Yeah, it's hot in here. I have to turn the aircon off because you can actually hear it through the thing.
Yeah, so we kind
Just bring that a little bit closer.
Is that better?
Just like that.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, me and my dad did some investigating of our own. Went to the neighbours and everything, and found out that he was actually there. His car was parked there that afternoon.
And what did he tell the police?
He told the police that, he was there at a particular time, but when we went to the neighbours, they all said that he was actually there at a different time to what he put on his statement.
Yeah, right.
So, we just thought something sus is going on here. So we've never been able to prove anything because the coppers didn't really do anything about it. They just said we just have to suck it up and
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's real. Yeah. That's fucked. That's piss poor police work.
Yeah.
What's the go, like, with the statement, how his wouldn't have matched up with the neighbours? Like, what is the go? What's
because
the go
they
there?
just put it down to suicide, and they don't really have to do any investigation. Yeah. I had one copper pull me aside and said, you've got to tell your dad to stop.
Really?
Yeah.
You've got to tell your dad to stop?
Stop, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then basically we just let it go.
Was there a note?
There was no note.
No nothing?
No note, no nothing.
She wouldn't leave without...
She wouldn't leave me.
No.
Like, she knew what I was like.
Yeah.
And,
And I from what I remember, I know I can still feel the feeling, like, of it. Even though the memories are scattered, what I feel, what I'm observing of the feeling is nothing. It's not made up. And I know that she was a beautiful person. And
she was funny as, like, totally
enjoyed
funny.
life. She's a nomad, wasn't she?
We used to call each other Snotface from, what's that movie, Drop Dead Fred.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. And, like, if we had a bit of a drama with each other or whatever, we'd just say, oh, I'm sorry, Snotface, Yeah, so we had our little thing going.
I used to love that movie. That's where it come from.
That's a cracker.
That and... Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Did you watch that one together?
I think we might have, but Ace Ventura and Ab Fab, were our favourites that we used to watch all the time. The Goodies. Yeah,
used to watch yum.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember all those ones. I've actually still got the VHS cassettes at home.
Oh, really? Shit.
I need to find.
Still, we got nothing to play them on.
I know. Yeah, but they're all still there. If anyone's got a VHS player, send it this way. But, so that was, and I think, Dad also said, he goes, maybe we need to stop because it's, like, really upsetting my mum as well. Like, we just had to let it be.
Well, what do you do if the cops aren't going to do their job?
And I think now that, I just think that first year was a blur to me Like, I can't really remember much. Brooke was 10 months old. Jacqui had just become a godmother 2 weeks beforehand. See, that's what I don't understand either, like why she would leave as well.
How did you find out? Who told you?
So the girl that she lived with only knew where Chris worked, your dad worked. So the police, she didn't know our phone number. She didn't know, well, we didn't have mobiles back then anyway. So she didn't know our home phone number. She didn't know our address. So the only place she knew was where Chris worked, at Albert Smith Signs. So the coppers, all the detectives turned up there and told him, and he had to come home and tell me. Then I had to go with them to tell my mum and dad.
Okay, that's where this...
That was heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Fucking oath, it's heavy. That is such a... From everyone, from the cops rocking up there to Dad, that unexpected shock, and then to you, that unexpected shock. It's like, oh, fuck, I don't even know what to say there. Like, it's...
Yeah.
The part where you had to go tell your parents. Yeah. So what I remember... Yeah. And this is the part I want you to try and tell me if it's accurate or not. Yeah. It was at Nan and Poppy's. Yep. Nanny and Poppy's. Yep. Their long stairway up to their door. Yep. I remember you being up the top. Yep. And you dropped. Someone dropped. Yeah. Because it was just like... You'd fucked.
It was... I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth.
Was that true? Was that right?
Yeah. I couldn't actually get the words out of my mouth. They had to say it to Mum and Dad. I was just like, you know, and then I just went into the toilet and vomited, and it was just so surreal. Yeah, it was so surreal, and I just after that it was a blur. Like, you know, I had to pick myself up and look after you guys. I had to go to work.
Fuck.
You know, like you just had to. The sun kept coming up every morning. It just wasn't giving me enough time to grieve.
See, that's the problem. That's such a problem in this world. We, you know, we're so divided from like colour to religion to sex to, you know, all these different groups, and even in the family unit, it's been divided to a point where, you know, you've got mum and dad, and then you've got the kids. Dad goes to work, mum goes to work. Yep. How do you resolve this trauma when you've got kids to look after? Yep. There's no tribe community anymore, so you can't pass the kids on for someone to look after them while you handle your grief.
Can you take these for a couple of months while I go and grieve?
Yeah. Or even just for bits and pieces, so you can go within yourself and actually, you know, open your heart and, you know, try and understand what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have enough time. Didn't have enough time for that.
No.
There was no time.
And I don't think many people do.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about this at the, you know, ayahuasca, because they've got a good tribal tribe community there where everyone just puts in their bits and pieces here and there, and everyone gets looked after. No one's abandoned and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of lost here. Everyone's just separate.
Yeah. You just got to... You know, and I had a lot of people that did care about me, what I was going through, but, you know, what can they do? They've got to go to work as well. Yeah, everyone's got families to look after.
It's your personal... Yeah. And even though, you know, your sister, my auntie, you know, Dad's sister-in-law, Donna's sister, Nan and Poppy's daughter, everyone's got their own personal journey of what they're dealing with you know, whatever happens. Yeah. And it's a very delicate thing to try and navigate and heal from. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, you know, I don't even know if I've healed properly from it. But, like, I think my journey with her, she's, like, teaching me a lot of shit from the other side.
Oh, yeah, like, absolutely.
All the stuff. Like, the first time that we went on a holiday, I'm like, look at me. Would you have thought that I'd been on this overseas holiday? No, because you know, I was scared of everything. So, and I'm like, oh, look at me now. And the first time we went to Bali as a family, I think you were 17, when we all went over there. And I was feeling a little bit anxious. And the first sign that I saw when we drove into Bali was "Don't worry, be happy," and that was the song that we played at a funeral.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm sweet now. You know, I can enjoy my holiday. I don't have to be nervous because I know she's watching over me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last. So when I did my first Aya, sat with Aya, I obviously was coming out of my addiction.
Yep.
You know, I'd been a real dark place in my life. So there was that I wanted to get answers from and assistance, guidance from. And there was also the part where I wanted to, because Jacqui was such an important part of my life, I wanted her to make herself present.
Yeah.
And she didn't come to me visually.
Yep.
But she came to me through song. And if you know and have experienced, you know, sitting with Aya, the songs that they play, Don't Worry, Be Happy, is kind of one that sort of isn't too common.
Yeah.
And it wasn't common out here. And it come on the very last song of the night on the first retreat I did, and I just burst into tears, because I knew that was her. And I said to one of the guides the next day, I've got to be careful, I can't say names or anything, but I said, what was going with that song? Like, that was so different to the rest, and that was my auntie's, you know, song. And she said, I was just in the shower and it came to me, and she's like, I'm singing that tonight.
Wow.
Like, you know, that's how things come. Like, a thought comes in, and you know, that's an invisible force, and then you turn that invisible force that, you know, manifested into physical reality by acting on it. And you know, it's just very,
that was pretty cool.
It was.
So I keep her alive. Like, Tara wasn't even thought of. And like, Tara knows her like you guys. You know, you just brought her up like she was still here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or Jacqui did this, or Jacqui did that, or you look like Jacqui then. You know, so we just keep her alive.
Do you believe that she places things in your path for you to have?
Definitely. Yeah.
Inspires for you from the whatever.
Yeah. I see feathers. Like, there's, you know, feathers, and just number plates, car number plates. We used to play a game, and I see a number plate with her initials on it, like, nearly every day. Yeah. Every single day. I'll see that, and I'll go, oh, thanks for being here. You know, like, yeah, you're here, kind of thing. And yeah, she's just teaching me stuff still. Yeah. Especially about myself, things that I can do.
What have you found for healing? I don't really like the word healing. I do, but I think using the word I need to heal from something, it can make you feel like you're actually, like, we're all broken. We've all got something to transform. That's what I'm getting to with this. Like, it makes you feel like you're constantly fucked or damaged, or there's something wrong with you. Yeah. But the truth is, we've all, if we had healed from everything and we had nothing to move on to next, there'd be no adventure in life. It's a constant. Yeah. You know, like I say, once you reach the top of that mountain, that's just the beginning and bottom of another. Yeah. Have a rest. Yeah. Have a rest at the peak.
Have a look at the view. But how beautiful it is.
That's right. See how far you've come. Yeah. And then you're like, fuck, all right, there's another one. Yeah. I've got to keep climbing now. Yeah. And the mountains are all different. You get a different view with every one. Absolutely. So there's a different, like, surprise or a different achievement every time you climb one. How did you... What sort of tools have you found on the way that has helped you deal with that grief and loss?
We did meditation. My dad actually did, he did like a Reiki course. So he was like, we were both really heavily into going to see psychics and all that kind of stuff. We wanted answers. Yep. So, and she had, Jacqui had these books from Doris Stokes. She was a well-known, famous psychic. In England. She's passed away now, but Jacqui had some of her books, and I started reading them. And before that, like, Jacqui would always say to me, come see a clairvoyant. And I'm like, I don't want to know when I'm going to die. I don't want to know the future. And that's what I was scared of. I was scared of the future and dying and all that kind of stuff. I even had a dream about death, and she had a dream book, and actually I've still got the piece of paper where she earmarked it. And on death, it is one door closing and another door opening. Yep. She goes, you're not going to die.
No, I don't. There's, you know, being what I've been through, trying to, you know, I tried to take myself out.
Yeah.
From what I experienced when I, did what I did. There is no death. It's not you die and then it's nothingness. It is it's just another state of consciousness.
Yeah.
I don't show up on here like I don't know anything at the end of the day. Like there is so much. The more I explore, the more I realise I don't know. There is so much to it.
I don't really know. I don't think any of us really knows what happened when we die until we die.
No, if they did, we'd all be masters at life. Like the information would be there.
And we'd all want to die.
Yeah, I think
this place sucks sometimes.
I think there's a lot of people that think they're, the master and they're know-it-alls and they know it all, but nah. Life's meant to be a mystery because, if there's no mystery, with the mystery, that's how we learn the most.
Yeah.
We actually have to go through the shit, through the experience and learn from it.
I believe that we're here not for a purpose. I don't think any of us here are for a purpose. Like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? You're actually supposed to enjoy life, experience life.
Yep.
Like experience the cold, experience the hot, experience putting slippers on in front of a fire, that feeling you get of like, having that first cup of coffee or tea in the morning. Just those little experiences I think that we're meant to be here for and enjoy it.
I think so.
Not so much a purpose like I've got to be a doctor or I've got to be this or that's my purpose in life. It's not. It's to actually experience life. Ups and downs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. That's a good girl. Hey.
Yeah.
So,
I think so too. Like it is about the experience. We've got to experience both sides as well. We can't just have it good all the time.
Yeah.
Life's forever changing, not perfect, and there's light and dark.
Yeah.
Can't experience the good without the bad, like I was saying before.
Yeah.
We're nearly out of time here, but I want to touch on the anxiety.
Yep.
You've been battling that your whole life.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk just about the anxiety itself, your experience living with anxiety, just sharing?
Yep.
And then some of the things that you use that you found have found that's helped you.
Yep. So I've suffered from it since I was a little kid.
Yep.
I remember being, I don't even know how old, 5 or whatever, running into mum and dad's room going, oh, I've got that feeling again. Like I was a kid. I'd think about death and I would scare the crap out of myself. Just thinking about what happens when we die. And like no 5-year-old should be thinking like that. Like why was I thinking about it? It was just bizarre. So they would just come and go. I got it again when I was about 10, 11. So, I had an experience where I got it again. And then I didn't get it till I was about 17. And then, it's kind of just like a feeling like, like kind of like doom, like doomsday, like we're all going to die. I feel sick, I can't eat, my mouth goes dry, I get this feeling that comes up my stomach and out to my arms and kind of get clogged here like thing. And if I could visualise it, it would be like a black ball.
Yeah.
A black ball just like looking at me going, I'm here. What are you going to do about it? Yep, I'll crawl into a ball and won't eat and sleep for weeks kind of thing, So when I used to get it, I used to call Jacqui all the time and talk to her about it. She would always come over and I'd just totally forget about it. Like just it would be with me and as soon as she came over it would be gone. And then when she wasn't there for me to call, I panicked. I'm like, oh, God, what am I going to do? So, of course, you go to the doctor and then the doctor puts you on, medication. So, that worked, got rid of it and that. I'd still be having episodes and that while I was on the tablets. I don't really have a trigger as such to why they would come on me all of a sudden. I could be happy, I could be asleep and wake up with it in the morning.
Because you've done a bit of work with people.
Yeah, I have,
Like a fair bit of work.
Yeah.
Has anyone been able to reverse engineer this back?
Yes. So just recently, like last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and saw this lady. She's at Madrabar here. And, Yeah, she took me through my childhood and everything. Like, you know, there was no real triggers. Sometimes the way I would think, go back to, you know, like what happened, like nothing really bad happened to me as a child. I had a great childhood, great parents, you know, never fought with my brother or sisters. There was no triggers there. It was just, it's actually the unknown. So the unknown scares me. So go back to when I was a kid and when I was thinking about death, like, you know, what happens when we die? Like, nobody knows what happens when we die. So, so a lot of things go back to, okay, so you were in a situation where you actually didn't know what was going to happen, you know. So, they were like little triggers for me. So now I'm still on my tablets. I have tried to get off them, but I'm only on 10 milligram at the moment.
Yep.
I go to my naturopath, Holly, who's amazing. So I've still got some of her herbs that she does for me, and I go see her.
Where's she from? Give her a little plug here, a little shout out.
Yeah, Holly Mayer. She was my Pilates instructor, and she was going through, like, you know, to becoming a naturopath in any way. So she's a fully qualified naturopath, and so I go down and see her. She's down at Currumbin, and so she's helped me a lot. You know, I go down there and she puts like little needles in. What's that called again?
The acupuncture.
And she'll make me cry and release it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that stuff's woo woo and all that sort of. No.
They know. Like, I went to Rachel too. She's at Varsity Lakes, and she was amazing as well. I think you went and saw her.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I went in there and I've got anxiety, and all she did was like feel here, and she goes, "Oh, darling," you know, like she could feel it straight away of how anxious I was.
Well, the body stores.
Yeah.
It stores all the shit.
Yeah.
It really does.
And that was, I can't even remember what I was anxious about. It's just this feeling that overcomes you, and once it actually grabs you, all you do is think about that feeling. And it's, you know, it's mentally hard. Yeah, you've really got to shake yourself out of it. And so instead of lying in bed and your mind going, you've got anxiety, blah, 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 it's going to keep you up all day, and you're not going to eat, and you're going to feel like crap and everything, get up, go for a walk, get yourself grounded on the beach, watch that sunrise, do some sun gazing, like we did the other morning. I find sun gazing amazing. Like just watching the little circles. Yeah. Like when you're really, just when it's coming up though, otherwise it's too bright.
Well, like I said before, it's a giver of all life. Without it, there's literally no life.
Yeah. Yeah, and just getting your feet in that salty water, jumping in there. I don't obviously do it every morning, but yeah, that's very helpful for me. And yeah, just, you know, taking my little shot of herbs because I feel good because it's all natural. Yeah.
Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Barbara O'Neill.
Yeah, she's amazing too. Just castor oil and all that stuff that I've learnt from her is amazing. So yeah, I've yet to get her book.
Oh yeah.
Sustain Me. I want to get that one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just little things like that can help you.
Do you think? I know, like I feel from what I can see that you've progressed a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've progressed a lot. Sometimes there's days where, I struggle. Yeah, as we all do. I'm just like, I'm sick of fighting this all the time. Yeah. Sick of fighting it. But you have to, like, yeah.
I think you can, like, fighting it. If you want to fight it, I think, you welcome it and surrender to it, because I really do feel like, and I, from this ceremony that I just did, turning up, with this podcast and my social media, everything that I do, authenticity is the key. Yep. And I was told by the medicine, I'm like, how? Like, what is me as authentic? And the message I got from it is, it's like you observing the weather, you know what I mean? It's the weather can be bright and sunny and clear as one day. You can see everything that's going on. It feels all lovey-dovey. Yeah. It's nice. It's comfortable. And then, you might have, moments where shit weather rolls in. And all this stuff said, you can out of your control.
Yeah.
You can't control the weather, and I feel like that's much like us, you know. Some days are good, you know, and then life throws a curveball, and then it's down, but it doesn't just go up and down on a flat plane. It goes up, down, up, like the stock, like a good stock market, you know, like that graph. Boom, boom. You're constantly going up, even though you feel like you're going down. You're going back up and spiking again, constantly growing and transforming.
Yeah, I mean, it does get better. There's times that I've felt like the mental people are going to come and put a straitjacket on me. You know, like I was at mum and dad's once, and I said, "They're going to take me away." You know, no, they're not. It's all good. You know, and it did come good. Yeah, it did come good. But at that moment, you're just like, what the hell? You
feel like it's the end, eh?
Yeah. It's like, what is wrong with me? But yeah, there's always a light. There's always a light. But yeah. But I could talk about it for hours.
Oh, well, there's definitely going to be another part to this.
Yeah.
We've got a 4-way mixer coming, so I know maybe you and Dad can jump on and we can have like a proper chat about, you know, the experience with me, try and get the message out there to other parents and, you know, people that are experiencing kids or anyone that they know going through drug addiction, and then the person going through addiction themselves.
Yeah. I'd be happy to, you know, if someone, like, you know, I obviously don't have the answers because I never had the answers when you were going through it, or had the answers when I was going through grief or anxiety. Well,
you know, we'll talk about it on the day, but there's no silver bullet for it. There's really not, you know, because like I said, we're all accountable.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own willpower. They make their own choices and decisions.
I think you just got to keep that door open.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, while also protecting yourself at the same time.
Yeah. Keep that light on. Yeah.
Because there's other people in the family.
Yeah.
You know, that you got to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. It can get pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But
well, that was a good chat, Mum.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
What would you say to anybody? I guess, you know, that's going through anxiety, or, you know, lost someone, you know, unexpectedly, not unexpectedly, you know, in the same way that you have. What kind of information would you? Well,
I would say the dark times will not always be there. Grief for me is knowing that I'm still learning from my sister.
Yep.
She's still teaching me a whole heap of stuff. And yeah, like the drug addiction and everything, you know, eventually we found out that you were the only one that could heal you. But we still left the door open for you.
Yeah.
We didn't shut that door.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't have that.
No. So like, you know, and I can understand it, but I just couldn't shut that door because I knew who you were. Yeah. I knew who you are. So I was just
got lost
hoping,
for a bit.
Yeah. I was just hoping that one day you'll know that it's time to come home. Yeah, and you did. So we were lucky ones, I guess. There's a lot of families that have lost their kids to addiction, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, mainly prescription drugs. A lot of the time, which is unfortunate because they get addicted to it. Not for enjoying it, it's just, you know, if they're in pain and they take a drug and then, you know, they get addicted to it that way.
Yeah.
There's always different ways.
It's crazy. When it got to that dark point, I was doing the drugs. They made me feel like shit. They put me in a dark place, but I still did it. Because like what you were saying before with, you know, that unknown, that uncertainty, how it scares you. That was the same for me. I was caught in drugs for so long that getting off them, it petrified the fuck out of me.
Yeah, what am I going to do?
Yeah, like what do I do without this? I've been doing it for so long. Like this feeling of not doing it feels so unfamiliar. At least in this feeling, it's familiar and I know that I'm in some way safe. Yeah. Because well, you know, it's a familiar feeling, but you know, the other pushing through and on the other side of that, finding natural organic happiness again is... Yeah. You're a very strong person to do that. Well, you're a strong person for for still leaving the door open and sticking around and just putting up with the bullshit, which I feel blessed to have you and Dad and Brooke and Tara and everyone that's in my life. I really do.
Yeah, we all were there.
Yeah.
You just didn't see us until you opened your eyes.
Well, I was asleep.
Yeah.
Have you heard that there's a quote, I think it's in the Bible. I'm not a religious person, guys, you know that, but there is fucking so much truth to this. And it's allowed me, to the people that are unconscious and blind out there that are doing shit things, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yeah.
Because they are. If they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be doing it. Obviously, something isn't firing and wiring right. They haven't picked up the right information. So understanding that will allow you to have compassion for that person. Like, fuck, they're so lost. They're so blind. Hopefully they do find their way.
I hope so too. Let's put it out there.
Yep.
For them to all...
May all beings be happy and may all beings be free from suffering.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Mum.
That's okay.
I love you very much.
Love
again.
you too.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul. Hopefully my father's health is back in order soon, so we can jump on and Mum can jump on. Hopefully this 4-way machine turns up, and we do have another special guest coming on next week. I'll leave that as a surprise, and you'll see it pop up on social media. A guy who's, him and I have got a lot in common. He's had a very transformative weight loss journey. He's dropped a lot of bad habits from what we've spoken about. His mental health used to be all over the shop, and I'm living proof of this too. You'll hear about it in the next episode. When you shift your mindset and alter your thoughts, your body will alter as well. Like I used to be, I won't say anymore, but you shift your thoughts, you alter your health. Honestly, the way that you think has all to do with your current present reality. What you think, you become. But not just that. You can think it, and you can have the thought visit you, but it's whether you believe it or not, which means the most. If you believe that you're a fuck up and you can't do it, you're not capable, and you're not, you haven't got, you're not good enough. No one loves you.
You can't do it.
Then then you can't do it. Then it's right. No one loves you. If you think that and believe it, then that is so it is.
Yep, definitely.
So I look forward to introducing you to this bloke. I haven't spent that much time talking to him, so it'll be good to get to know him on the day. I think we just keep it raw and real like that and just let it unfold naturally. That's how I want, and told you guys how I want this podcast to unfold. Raw and real conversations, the good, the bad, and that goes for me too. Like, I'm going to not just share my good side and, act like life's all perfect, because it's not. It is up and down. So when the downtime comes for me, you're going to know about it. We've got to keep it real like that.
Yeah.
We can't have this fucking fake shit on social media where it portrays people's lives to be perfect, because, and I don't like people turning up like that, because it's just false.
Yeah.
It's false as fuck, and it's not authentic, and I'm going to change that. Fuck it.
Sounds good.
Yep. All right, beautiful people.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in, and go out and love yourselves.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.